we're going to talk about our triple play, 3 opportunities to get your consumers, your customers back into your dealership before we lose them to somebody else. And how we're going to do that is we're going to select 3 vehicles, 3 opportunities that you have on your showroom floor today that you wanted to target. And these are just 3 examples for you to take a look at, but of course you're going to pick what you feel is hot for your particular market at this given time. What we would like to do is we're going to go over 3 opportunities that you have in-house. One is your playbook. That's your dealer playbook. That's your small business playbook where you can go after your small business owners. You can go after all your customers. And in playbook itself, we can determine and find your current customers who are actively looking for another vehicle. So we're hitting them at the right time. We're also going to go into your service smarts, and we're going to tap into your service customers, the people who come back to you, who trust you with their vehicles, yet, even though they live in your area and they're loyal to you, they did buy that particular vehicle somewhere else. And what we like to do is recapture them again. You've got them for service work. There's no reason why we cannot get them for a new vehicle purchase, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on winning them back. I'm also going to touch on very lightly the lease-in retention playbook and how to get to it. I know that leasing's not all that big in our area, but I do want to touch on that. So let's go ahead and move it in. I do want to present a reminder for you. Keep in mind that your BDC team by now should be pretty proficient in using all 3 of these resources. If they're not, let's take this offline, contact me, and we'll set up an on-site visit to work with them to get them proficient. In the meantime, even if they are, if you need some assistance in putting a campaign together, that's why my team is here for you. We're also able to do on-site training on how to use these platforms and techniques to make the campaign successful, and that includes working on email templates, working on phone scripts, working on videos, and working on text message scripts as well, and working with the entire team. So that's my little commercial for this morning. Let's take a look at Playbook. Your team will, of course, go into Global Connect, and they're going to find under the applications the CSSR app. They're going to click on that app. They should have access to that. And you're going to have a couple of options at the top, and one of the options you have is called Insights. If you haven't been in here for some time, you know this is new. This is different. Once you click on that, you're going to get some options. And what you want to look at in the columns that will appear on the page once you click on Insights is you're going to see one column that says Playbook, and you're going to look down there, and the first one at the top is your Playbook Manifest. And that's where you pull your current customers that are currently in one of the vehicles that they bought from you. And there's certain filters that we can use, and we can go after your high-value targets, the people who are in market, live close to your area, are loyal to you. We can sort this, slice and dice this any way you see fit. The other piece to this, especially at this time of the year that's important, is the small business manifest. So we can take a look at the small business owners that have done business with you, and we can go target them again. So again, over the next 15 days, you're going to hear a lot about this, and that's what GM themselves are wanting us to target, and that's where a lot of our focus is going to be at. But either way, if you click on the Playbook Manifest, this is what you're going to see. And this is below here, you're going to see a list of your folks. But what you want to do is you want to Excel this to you want to send this out into a spreadsheet format. So over here on the top and over on the right, you're going to see a little button. And if you click on that, it's going to give you an option. You can export this list of your customers either in an Excel format or a CSV format. And you do want to pick the CSV format so we can get the list correctly and we can have the filtering tools. Once you click on that, it's going to ask you if it's okay to open this, and you're going to say yes, and a spreadsheet's going to pop up in front of you. And you have around 35 different columns with different key pieces of information, as you can see here, from names to delivery date to distance from the dealership to in-market And these are the columns that we can use to filter the list to target the individuals for this one particular campaign. Remember, we don't want to send a campaign out to everybody all the time because that gets a bit too much. So how do we do that? Well, here's an example of a spreadsheet, and you'll notice that there you have one column that shows the year. So maybe we want to target folks that have a vehicle that continue to own that's in the 2000 and 2017 range because we can trade them out of those vehicles, right? The other thing we might want to consider is the distance that these folks are from your dealership. And this is going to be an individual call on your part. But for this particular campaign, do we pick a 50-mile, 100-mile radius? It's going to be your call. We also want to pick the type of vehicles. What customer with what type of vehicle do we want to target? Do we want to target an SUV customer? Do we want to target a truck customer? Again, you kind of get the idea, and we can target them for a particular new vehicle that we want them to focus on. Again, here's some examples. As you get ready to do this, your management team is right to decide which of your vehicles you want to focus on and develop a campaign for. And then we also go into more filters. One of the other filters is the follow-up priority, the A, B, and C. So A, people on this list are people that have shown tendency to be loyal to your dealership. They've shown to be active, which means, they're going to probably actively respond to you. If we don't get enough people off of that list, then we can click in B, click in C. That's where we can play with that. And we also want to look at if they're favoring purchasing, because remember, we're going to target people who are in market. Are they actively looking for another GM product, or have we lost them and they're starting to look for a competitor? And you'll see that in a second. By the way, do not forget that we do have a tab for My Rewards. And now we can show that this customer is a My Rewards member, and they can kind of give you a rough idea of the range of points that they have. That's good for your service department. Same thing with small business. We would pull up the small business playbook. Here's an example of that. Again, we go back and look at the years. We pick the type of vehicles we want to target. And again, here's an example. You've already done this already, and when you set down your strategy meeting. And then you're also going to target people who are in market, which means are actively looking to make a change, or actively looking to purchase a vehicle. That's the beauty of this, and that's who we want to target. Question is, do we want to target the folks that are favoring another GM product, or we want to go after someone who's undecided, or favoring competition? If they're favoring a competitor, that's going to be a tough sell for us. I like those people, but again, we really have to have our A game for that. So we always recommend, if you're starting to do this and you're just in the beginning stages of this, go after the folks that are favoring getting another product that you carry. And if you don't have enough on that list, add to that the undecided. And again, we can assist you with that. Let's move on to Service Smarts. Service Smarts is a tab that you go into Global Connect again. You open it up. And what we want to target on is we want to target on your service customers that are in the 13 to 72-month range. We also want to target the ones, you'll see the three boxes. We want to target the folks that bought a vehicle from another dealership, not you, but they live in your backyard. They live in your area, and they're doing service work with you. So they trust you. They just didn't buy a vehicle from you. So let's change that. And when we go to that box over there to the right that you see, you'll see two numbers in blue, and you want to click on the one on the left. And it shows here we have 111 people that's on our list, our service list. They come in and do service with us, but they bought their vehicle somewhere else. In other words, they live in your area, but they did buy a product elsewhere, but they are paying you for service. And what we want to do there is we want to pull that list, do the same thing that we did earlier with Playbook, filter it, and do a campaign to go out after them. The reason we want to use Service Smarts is keep in mind that these folks on this list may not be in your CRM. If your service department's not putting their service customers in your CRM, these people may not be in there. You also want to take this list that you're targeting in Service Smarts and dive into the S under the person's name to get more additional information. And then again, what you're going to do is you're going to set up a campaign for them. Lease retention. I'm going to just let you know that you have different places you can go to. You have a step-by-step guide, which will send out to you later today. It's going to tell you how to go into the dealer lease dashboard, how to pull the various different reports right here in the manifest list. And I'm sure everyone has gone into the manifest platform. You have a couple of areas where you can pull a list on target least pull hit customers and also targeted least loyalty customers. And this is more of a one-off, one-on-one per rooftop, depending on how much lease business you do. And you can reach out to us, and we can work with you on that. What am I talking about? We're addressing this for the first time. This is an example for leases, scripts, word tracks. The reason I'm sharing this with you right now is that when you do your campaign for your small business owners and you do your playbook campaign, you should have templates. Dealer-approved templates, your approved templates that you use for email templates to do a call to action, to offer an incentive, to tempt that customer of yours to reach out to you. And this is going to need to be followed up with a phone call and a text message. We want to have scripts, phone scripts, that your sales team and your BDC team are using so we can monitor the success of the phone call. Because keep in mind, when we do a campaign, you just don't do one email and that's it. If you do that, that's guaranteed failure for the campaign, period. The campaign should be set up with a 60-day follow-up action plan. You send out an email, you send out a video, you follow up with a phone call, and you follow up with this customer the same way you follow with a new lead. Not as aggressively, but again, you continue to follow up with them because we find many people that we pull there in market are going to buy, maybe not necessarily in the next 36 hours, but they do buy within the next 60 days. Do not forget, when you send an email, you can use the videos that you already have at your fingertips. You go into Global Connect, you go into Showroom, you can pull various emails that you can pop into the you have numerous videos that you can pop into your email going to your customer. So again, keep in mind, video has become real big recently. It's something that helps us with the higher engagement. If your team is not using the videos that are in Showroom, let's start trying to do that today. If you don't have a campaign going out today, get with me, and we will help put a campaign together for you. On that note, you've seen the emails already. Quite a few of you have reached out to us, and we are assisting. And because we are in the field, some of our free time that we have is limited. But this week, our free time is from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at night. And we are working with some of our dealers during that time period to build a campaign. And we're doing that through a virtual call. So if you want some assistance this week to build a campaign, send an email or call, and we'll set up a time for anywhere between 6 to 11 p.m. during this week so we can assist your team in building a campaign. Remember, pick 3 vehicles you want to target. Make sure you have someone within the dealership who's proficient, who use Playbook, Service Smarts, and lease and retention. If you don't, let's get them in touch with my team, myself and my team, so we can train them and get them proficient. And also, if you want to, get in touch with us so we can assist you as you're building the campaign. These are your points of contacts. This is a list of your district sales managers in the zone and your zone manager, and of course myself. I'm down there on the very bottom toward the right. This is our emails and our telephone numbers. We are all here to assist you. We're all here to make this last quarter, the fourth quarter, a phenomenal quarter. But it starts with a proactive approach to your current customer base, and that starts with campaigns. So thank you. Hopefully I kept this short enough. This is another Coffee and Conquest. We do these every Wednesday at 11 a.m. You can log into them or listen to the recording later on. Oh, by the way, a parting note, when you do a campaign this month and you get a great result, share. We like to share success. So as I always say, go out to make